this feels so nice. This feels so good after such a very busy, hectic day on Crafters TV. This is nice just to be sitting, relaxing. It's just me, it's just you, it's just Jamie in my ear in the gallery next door. He's saying hi. I think a couple of people are just plodding about outside, but they're about to get ready to go home. Everyone else is all gone home. It is bang on 5 o'clock here in the UK. It is so nice to have your company, where we're going to be having a look at the, the Vintage Carnival. Now, it is a craft together, so usually what we would do is we would do exactly that, craft together. It's a little bit different from our craft along. Our craft along, we tend to give you the instructions, we'll give you the actual ingredients, so to speak, the products that we're using, and an idea of what we're going to be making around about 24 hours time. When it comes to this craft together, it's usually just come together. We'll let you know it's, of course, the Vintage Carnival in this case, and then we just have a little bit of a play. So what I'm going to do is I have got finished samples. We're going to do maybe 1 or 2 of the actual carnival rides. We're going to do that because within this collection, many of you will notice that the dies are a little bit smaller. You've got a lot of detailed dies, and I know certainly when it comes to the Ferris wheel, a few people have been having issues kind of putting it together. So what we'll do is we'll focus on them, and we'll actually craft together when it comes to making the carnival rides. We'll probably at least get 2 of them done, and then of course, once you feel comfortable and confident in actually building them, then of course you can then go and create all of your different projects. The products are available on the website. It's not a sell show as such. We're not going to have details at the side and that. We're not going to go over prices, etc, etc. What I will still do though is I will still show you the boards and the paper pad so that you know in a little bit more detail as to what the website shows. So the website's got all the written details and that, it's got the prices, etc, and at least I've shown you crystal clear within the board. So we'll do it that way, but we do have Rachel on the social. So although I say it's just myself and Jamie, we've got Rachel there as well. Lots of you already tuning in, which is lovely. We've got Lynn Morton is saying, good afternoon, Craig, CTV community, and all the team from Newcastle, just up the road. Just going to be there on Friday for a hospital appointment, just a checkup, routine checkup. So I'll be there. Usually it is, I usually go to the Metro Centre if I've got a hospital checkup. I might actually go into the centre of Newcastle. So it's been a while since I've actually been in the centre, so I might do that. That's kind of my routine and ritual. I'll go to my checkup and then I'll go to the Metro Centre, spend a bit of money that I don't have on stuff that I don't need, and then come home. But it's kind of like, that's kind of like my little routine. Trudy is saying, hello from Central Florida. Hi to you, Trudy. Carnwell Sorrell, oh, bless you, Karen. She's saying hello again from Kentucky. Hello to you. Carletta is saying hello, everyone from Arkansas. Hi to you. Sandra Parks is saying hi from Arizona. Jeannie's in from Massachusetts. We've got Zoe Carver is saying hello, evening from me and Brian in West Sussex. Well, evening to you. Jane Adams is saying good morning everyone from a sunny, windy, that is, Las Vegas. Might be a little bit windy there. You might be winning if you're in Las Vegas. That's the whole point of going, is actually winning in windy Las Vegas. Stephen Nicole saying evening, Craig. Rebecca Dancer is saying good evening, Craig. Jeannie on YouTube is saying the collection is not my taste, but love watching what Craig creates and how he does his magic. And that is absolutely music to my ears. And I say that because, and actually this is probably a good point here, a little bit of back detail before we go into actually doing a little bit of die cutting as well. We normally get lots of people say, oh my gosh, I love all of your launches. However, I can't always afford your launches. Now, some people think that when we, other brands, we do launches, it's so that we can get, I'm going to say it, we can get all the money out of you. It's not that. It's so that we cater to a wider audience, because not everyone is going to be a fan of specific themes. That's why we have so many launches, so that we are hopefully got something for everyone. So in the case, of course, of Jeannie, the Vintage Carnival, it's not your taste. However, what you could do is you could watch me cut, get hints and tips, get the tips that I'm showing you from here, and then you can start using them elsewhere when it comes to your crafting. So that's the case when it comes to the launches. So thank you actually, Jeannie, for saying that, because it is really important to know we don't all have the same taste. What I like, you might not not like, vice versa. So it's good to know that. And we've also got Lois on YouTube saying, hi everyone from Ohio. I just got back from visiting the vampires and my blood results have improved. I am so excited. Tomorrow I see the oncologist and Thursday I can resume my chemo. Oh, Lois, that is brilliant news. That really, really, actually I've kind of got like goosebumps here and seeing that. It's just, that is just really, really good news. It really, really is. The relief that you must have as well, knowing that they've improved. You know, I know obviously you say that you're still, or you're away to resume your chemo. The fact is that they've improved and that you can, of course, go on and resume your chemo really is excellent news. And now Rachel has given you a well-deserved celebrate emoji. So, I'm in here part of tomorrow, but I'll be thinking about you. But that really is brilliant news. Well done, Lois. I can never say it, so I'm just going to say Doreen Door, Pete, on YouTube is saying, hello Craig, I'm waiting for the showstopper for the Vintage Carnival, so I'm saving this show. Rightio, let's delve in. Very, very briefly, as I was said, not a show as such as to sell the product. It is there on the website for you to grab hold of. We will have a little bit of a look. However, any questions that you've got to ask, whether of course it's relating to the Vintage Carnival, if there is anything other specific, let us know. What I am going to tell you tomorrow, that is of course going to be Wednesday. It is Wednesday, Jamie, isn't it? Yes, because yesterday I was day's holiday, today's technically my Monday, even although it's Tuesday, same for Jamie as well. So tomorrow, Craft Together, it's all about cutting implements. So many of you have said, Craig, what about, you know, the guillotine for this, large guillotine for that? What about the V-blade paper trimmer? We had a question the other week there about what's the purpose of the swivel craft knife. So I thought this is a brilliant opportunity to bring together all these cutting implements, these cutting tools, and we'll focus on that tomorrow, and we'll do lots of cutting, give you tips as well. And then the following day, Thursday, I think it's a Craft Together, I think, Craft Your Stash foil press. Now, I know the foil press is not in stock, but the whole point of Craft Your Stash is to craft your stash. So when they said to me today, Craig, any idea? I was like, foil press. So the cutting one tomorrow is my idea, but also the foil press. So if you've got that, that's going to be on Thursday. And you know what? Lots of these dies, you'd be able to foil with them. You'd be able to do the waste technique, but we'll cover those in the Craft Your Stash on Thursday. But the foil press, this is about, of course, the Vintage Carnival. So let's delve in, just briefly show you before we start actually going in and doing the cutting here. All of what I'm showing you are available across on our Crafters Companion website. You guys stateside will know, of course, when it comes to the website, certainly take into account the tariffs that you have got in play. However, you know, all the info, the detail will tell you at the checkout. But when it comes to the website, .co.uk.com.au, I think there may be a bundle available with, of course, the Vintage Carnival. If not, you'll definitely have options to cherry pick whatever it is that you want. So you've got that vintage feel, and the vintage feel comes in with the colours of the linen and the paper pad. Alternatively, all of these, the Helter Skelter, hot air balloon, Ferris wheel, your big top, you'd be able to modernise that with all of your different colours that you've got at home. You've got the template that creates the popcorn box. You've got the die at the top here that creates the scallop. You can ink through them. Go back to the actual launch day. Go into Crafters Companion YouTube, type in Vintage Carnival launch, and myself and Ben launched this whole collection so that you can then, of course, go back to, you'll see how we use that popcorn box. So that is kind of your non-consumables. What we've also got as well is we've got our 6x6 pad. I'm not going to flick that. I'm going to go over the 12x12 one in a moment. Check out the website, stock dependent, should be available. You do have your linen card as well. So within these ones, you have, do you know what? I'm not actually going to go through the colours individually. You can see the 8 colours that you've got here. You've got your 24 sheets in total with the linen cardstock that works well with the 24 sheets of your 12x12. Now, you're going to see the most fun, creative, vintage looking designs. I mean, does that just not say the big top or what? You can absolutely do that. Now, where or when we launched this, because it's Vintage Carnival, and I was relating a lot of this to kind of like circuses and that, which of course you've got the big top. You've got the designs here within the paper pad when it comes to the strips. You can see, been using this one. So, as I said before, all of these, check out the website, .co.uk.com.eu, if you want to get your hands on the actual collection. But I know when it comes to kind of the carnival and the big top, it differs here in the UK. The big top, the circus, of course, usually what you would find is that was kind of the solo icon. That was, we had the circus, the big top, we used to have the animals and that with it. Maybe a couple of little kiddie rides, and then that was it. Whereas you guys stateside was more of a big, it was a big spectacle. You had the big top, you would have a Ferris wheel, you would have the Helter Skelter. So that was called kind of all in one, which of course where the Vintage Carnival comes into play. You had the Ferris wheel. Now we're going to have a look at this one first because this really does have a lot of die pieces to it, but I do think for many people it might be a little bit daunting. So as it is, I do need the paper pad. Oh, it was open all along. I did think that, I'm sure this is bound to be open, but it may at first glance be a little bit daunting, but please, honestly, it really is quite straightforward and quite repetitive, really, in some ways. I'm missing a little cart here, but all of these you're just going to cut, you know, number of times. There's the popcorn box. That is actually, if you got a hold of our puffy snow last Christmas, that is the actual puffy snow, and just inking it up slightly. But bring in things such as your template libraries as well. What about using it with your layout collection? If we just go back to that puffy snow that Jamie's got a close-up with, that's all that is. Onto a craft mat, a non-stick sheet, then just peel it off, ink it up, and then you've got that ability to create that realism when it comes to the actual popcorn. Bye, Ben. That's Ben off now. He's going to be back tomorrow with myself. Another cool one here as well. That's using the popcorn box, but then just chopping it down smaller to then make it into the chips or the fries. There again is your Ferris wheel. But then your zigzag cards, Z-fold cards, our Rachel, who's on social, she's made a lot of them. I think she's made this one. Yes, she has indeed. How cool is that? I love the ticker tape tickets that you've got. We can see here, so going in with your MDF and that, our Nicole's made this one, making a statement piece, and then theatre cards, diorama cards, all of these different ones are the ones that you can be making. But let's go in. As I said there, anyone that's just joining, I know some people were a little bit daunted at first glance when it comes to the actual attractions, because you've got smaller dies. But all that you need to do is really, really simply just break them down. So what I mean by that is, let's go in with, I'm going to go in with a little bit of the yellow. Maybe let's go in with a little bit of red. I'm going to go in with this kind of blue-grey, and then maybe a bit of deep blue-grey in these ones here. And what is great is this is brilliant for your bit box. You really, really do not need much at all. So I'm just going to go in and just cut little squares at the moment here. And then we're going to go in. Now you're going to be able to make 2 carts at once. Could be little burgers if you want to. That's up to you. And let's bring in, so let's do like a yellowy one first of all. I'm going to use my mini because, gosh, it's like deja vu, Ben. You just like, when you're going, bye. But as I said, deja vu. Ben will be back tomorrow. He's going to be back with Keith and then myself. I am bookend. Am I not bookending, Jamie? I don't think I'm sandwiching tomorrow. I think I'm bookending. I think I'm on tomorrow, first show, and then last show. So I am. I'm on the first show tomorrow and the last show tomorrow. Keith and Ben are going to be in the middle there tomorrow. So that's, of course, going to be Wednesday. So going in here, creating 2 of the carts for the Ferris wheel. You've then got the detail that you've got here. So this one, let's go in with, there's kind of like the jail bars, so to speak, which goes between them. And then, of course, I could do them in the same deep grey, but I'm not. What I'm going to do is let's do, so that's kind of going to be the bars. The detail, let's do in this kind of it's more like a minty grey up close. That one will do for another cart later on. And then these ones here, so you've got even these two tiny, tiny dies. What these are going to be for is the actual finished detail. Now, I'm a crafter like you. I'm going to put my hands up. This is me putting my hands up. That tiny die there, would I use that most of the time? Probably not. For me, is it worth faffing about with it? Probably not. I'm being honest with you as a crafter at home. Great that you've got that detail die, but don't feel as though, I think some people, certainly if you're starting out, you feel like you have to use every die that's within that set. Now, if it's serving a purpose, then of course you're going to. This is just creating that little nod of the detail at the top, which if you don't do it, you're not going to notice. Now, what I mean by that is if I bring one that I've done here, you would notice if you've not got the bars in between there. However, that tiny little dot's going to go at the top. Would you notice? No. You could put a little pen mark. That's what I love, is we give you the ability to put that fine detail in if you want. If you don't want to, don't use it. So let's go in and tape these ones down here. These are all going to go not only in your Gemini Mini individually, but they're all going to fit within the Gemini Mini as a whole. And then we're going to pop them in. So using the Mini, we're just going to go in with our folder. Same with the MIDI, or of course with our Gemini, you're going to go in with the plates. These will silver wafer thin dies. And I love sizes like this because I'm able to say these will go through every single die cutting machine that there is in the industry. So we're going to open it up, and then you've got these here to start your little Ferris wheel. So if we go in with, it could be a burger, Jamie, yeah. Yep, that's what it just reminds me of, a burger. And let's pop that one out. Oh, I had a really good burger at the weekend when my stepdad had a barbecue. Oh, it was so good. So, so good. Real meaty burger. Do you know what? There wasn't much to it. It was just a proper meaty burger and good old Scottish butter. And I had, yeah, I'll put butter on a burger, Jamie, on a burger rolls. Sorry, I should clarify. Let me just clarify that. I had a roll. The burger was on a roll, and therefore the butter was on the roll. So the roll, the butter, with, of course, the barbecued burger. And then I had coleslaw on it with tomato ketchup. I did. And it has to be Heinz. I'm not a snob when it comes to brands, apart from crisps. Well, yeah, actually, no, I am. When it comes to crisps, it has to be Walker's for me. Or when it comes to tomato ketchup, it has to be Heinz tomato ketchup. That is it. And I would probably bet your bottom dollar, I could tell you, if you gave me a tomato ketchup, I could probably tell you if it was Heinz or not. So that would be a good Instagram reel, Jamie, yeah. But yeah, I am, that is very much me. So yes, it was a really, really lovely burger that I had. So all that I've just been doing, just while I've been waffling on about burgers, is I'm just going to die cut another couple here. Now, personally for me, my friend is my tacky glue. So I'll be using my tacky glue. Can use your dotty tape runner, just keeping in mind, of course, there really are tiny little detailed pieces. Or if you've got things like your adhesive sheets, you could be using them. Your stick and sprays, you could be using them if you want to. So you've always got options. So I'm going to pop these little bits out, and then what we'll do before we assemble, we shall have a look at your comments because I see them all coming through. I know many of you are taking a little bit of a break stateside from watching Sarah on HSN. You could also let Rachel know in the social as well. If you have been watching stateside, have you gone for the Craftaganza? And before anyone in the UK asks, ask no questions, I will tell you no lies. But all that I will say is don't worry. Do not worry. If you're in the UK and you've liked the look of it, I am saying no more. So yeah, if you've gone for the Craftaganza, let us know. So let's pop, oh, Jamie's letting me know, a lot of you are agreeing with Heinz. Mayo, yeah, actually, I probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference if I was given a substitute mayo. I probably would not be able to tell the difference. However, Heinz mayo, Heinz ketchup, I firmly do believe that I would be able to tell the difference on that one. We have also, so Lois has come back saying, thank you, Craig. You are very welcome. As I said, we'll be thinking of you. Laurie Parr on YouTube is saying, I pulled my collection out right now. I saved the show in case I can't keep up. Well, as you can tell, still, although craft together, craft along, you think they're along the same lines, that little bit different. This really is just me and you chatting away together, crafting away together, crafting kind of the main focal point. In this instance, it would be the Ferris wheel, and then we'll get time to do another one. And then you can then, of course, go and create your project afterwards. Christine Duffy on YouTube is saying, hello, oh bless you, saying, if I wasn't already red, I would be going even more red. Saying, hello, Craig, my favourite demonstrator, so talented and explains everything so well. Well, that means the world, so thank you so much, Christine. Rachel is saying, I love making the Ferris wheel. I find it really mindful when you really get into it. Yeah, now, Rachel, and for all of you at home, when I first seen it, I did think, oh, you guys know me, I've got a lot of patience, nothing puts me off, but I did think, oh, it's going to take a while. Honestly, it takes no time at all, and it really is, for me, Rachel as well, quite therapeutic. Jeannie is saying, I really miss the days when we were young and my parents took us to the carnival and we enjoyed it. Too bad things have changed so much. I feel for you and I agree with you on that one, because it's the case of, don't get me wrong, completely agree, no animals in circuses, absolutely. However, I do miss the days of that excitement going into the big top, the cage was around, you know, the lion was going to come out or the tiger was coming out. Then you'd have the elephants with, of course, all the incredible acts. So I do 100% miss those days. It's lovely that being able to experience those days, because of course the generation now going forward will never know a circus with animals. Mary Stewart saying, hi Craig, it's lovely to see you so relaxed sitting at a desk. It is nice. Saying that to Jane before we went live, because at home, if I'm prepping at home, I always sit. Whereas if we're on air or if we're at Hobby Maker or anything like that, we do always stand. Rebecca Davies is saying, I'm with you on Craig with the tomato ketchup. I was watching Sarah in the break too. Anything but Hellman's mayo, revolting, not worth it. Now, I'm not sure if that was you, Rebecca, or if that's you, Rachel, saying anything but Hellman's mayo, revolting, not worth it. I'm also beginning to wonder if actually Rachel has written that through to me without actually having the intention of me saying that out loud. You know, each to their own, each to their own. That is the opinion of Rachel when it comes to Hellman's mayo. Not all of ours. We do like Hellman's. You know, Hellman's, if you're watching, we do love you. Jeannie is saying, yes, got the Craftaganza with the auto ship. Awesome. I have a sneaky suspicion I may be part of the auto ships in the future, as well as Sarah and Leanne. I think I might be a part of those. I think maybe I was to be a part of the main one as well. But if you didn't know, I will be in New York that weekend of Craftaganza. So yes, I won't be part of that one. But definitely when it comes to the auto ship future of the Craftaganza. And yes, Jamie, if you didn't already know at home, it's my 40th birthday. That day, the 21st of June, actually, is actually my birthday, yes. And Rachel's, yes, sorry, that was me. I have strong opinions. Well, now the world knows Rachel. Rachel doesn't like Heinz mayo. Hellman's mayo. Yes, thanks for clearing that one up, Jamie. Rightio, so let's get to it when it comes to the next part here. So really, that is a couple of our carts when it comes to the actual Ferris wheel. So if I go in with my glue, let's see, I bet you this is dried out because I've not used it for a while. Yep, it is. So if I go in with, have I got any left? I've got a little bit left. I use this for my stamens when it comes to my flower forming. So let's go in, I think it's the needle, no, the needle's not even in there. So I'm just going to kind of declog this. I'll need to properly declog it tomorrow. But let's just take that out. And then what we're going to do here is let's come in with these two here. And I'm going to run just a little bit of glue along the top. You know what you could also use as well is your Stay Sticky glue. You know your pen that you would use for your glitter flakes? Because that's got a fine ball nib on the top, then that would be a good one to be using. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the glue off. Now you can go top onto the bars or you can turn it around and do it the other way. That's entirely up to yourself. But I'm just going to then hold that for a second. I'm just going to align that one up along the top. Do you know what? It could be like a little temple or that as well if you wanted it to be. Yeah, could be that. Let's press that one down. Of course, what you can also do is you can alternate on colours if you want. So you can have different colours, the top and the bottom. Just going to let that grab, and then what we can do is we can do the same. I'm going to go along just the bottom, just there. And then if I then pop that down, and then we're going to overlay that one here and press down. So I know that I've got that central and I've got it straight, so I'm happy with that. So we're going to hold and let that grab. And then this is where you've got the additional detail. So if I, look at that, it's declogged already. Let's just go in. I don't even know if I've got my well I do, I've got my Stay Sticky pen at the side. Let's go in and then just along here, add in a little bit of the glue. The good thing as well with our tacky glue, and I know for those that watch on a daily basis or watch me, I sound like a broken record here, but at least with your tacky glue, it dries into the fibres of your cardstock. So it's going to make it even more robust and strong. And if you've not got it completely neat, i.e. the top and the bars, don't worry, because this detail is going to finish it off and cover any little bits that are maybe not necessarily straight. So if I then align that one up there, and then you can just see you've got your little bar. But what we could do, let me just shimmy that along slightly, the little tip of the cart, this is where you could pop a little bit of glue, and then this is where these tiny, tiny dots that are die cuts, you could use gems if you want to. I'm just picking that up with my pokey tool, popping that one into there. If you don't want to use them, but you want something, just take your art liner and just go in and just do a little dot, and then you can see you can go in and you can add that in. So you've got that option. If you want to use the tiny little die cut, you could do. If you want to go, look, you know, if I move that out the way, what one is the die cut dot and what one is the pen? You wouldn't know. You could if you wanted to. If you've got our Touch of Sparkle, the really small gem that are in it, you would just get away with popping one of them over the top. So you've got your options. The other alternative, and it's exactly as Rachel's just saying here, uses the wax pickup tool to place these little dots. You can do that. But also, not only for the little dots, but remember as well, your wax pickup tool, you can also use to pick up your bits of cardstock. Awesome, Jake. I don't know why you're just sneaking in, Jake, because I'm just going to call you out on it, you know. Thank you, Jake. Thanks, Jake. You've not done the Scottish accent today?
No.
Are you not going to do it? Just go on. I'll look the other way.
You're going to rate it for us?
Oh, I bet you it'll be good. I bet you, crouch down. Let's pretend. I'll look in that direction so I don't put you off.
Hello, everyone. My name's Jake Robinson and I'm from Scotland. And this is Craig Laird doing a demo on Vintage Carnival.
That was really good. No wonder Debbie Robinson couldn't tell if it was me or not.
There you go.
Put it there. Hey, how good is that? It's just like Craig Part 2, isn't it? It's really good. Drop my lid there. Oh, there we are. Well impressed with that one. You know when you're never too sure. A lot of people were really starting to, or earlier on, they're cheering up going, oh my gosh, Jake was brilliant, Jake was brilliant. It's like, is he that good when it comes to the Scottish accent? My gosh, he was. That was really good. But yes, when it comes to all of these little die cuts, don't remember, you can still use your wax pickup tool, even although they're cardstock, you can still use them. They're not just for the gems and the pearls. So you can see that is how you can then start to build up the little cart. Let's do one more before we start to assemble it, and then we'll go into one of the other ones. Because I think this one, out of them all, I think this was the one that many people not struggled with, but were a little bit daunted by. So let's pop our bit of glue into here. And it doesn't matter exactly what one is the top and which one is the bottom. A lot of love for Jake on that one. Jeannie saying, great job, Jake. You do realise, everyone always knows as well now, if they go to do anything with me on air, 9 times out of 10, it's going to get clipped out and it's going to go on social. So keep an eye on my social pages. Jeannie is also saying, I took on a huge project, die cutting all my dies and putting them into a 3-ring binder so I can remember all the dies I have and where they are. That is love. That is a labour of love. That is certainly dedication as well. I always find it interesting, our way of storage and the way of remembering where things are, because it's not a secret here. You know, guys, I don't use storage binders. I prefer just to keep everything in their original packet. That's the way that I like. I am fortunate enough to have, well, did have the room. I'm running out of room now. Whereas there's many of you that hate storing them in their original packaging. You want your ring binders. This is where we're all individual. But yeah, it's interesting whether you actually will die cut out one of everything so that you've got it for a reference, whether you write it down or you pop them into individual sections. Because it is one of those questions that you get asked a lot, how do you store your dies? So I'm just popping that one in there. So just repeating what I done a moment ago with that one. Say that again, Jamie. So Jamie's asking, do I have any of my favourite ones to hand? So do I keep them separate? I have a little pile that's got my nesting dies, it's got a set of sentiment dies, it's got a set of sentiment stamps, it's got my rose stamp that I love. I've got a little pile of things that I love to use a lot. I keep that on my desk. Other than that, I have them all sectioned in the cubes that I have in my craft room from IKEA. So that's how I like to store mine. So my sentiment stamps are together, my colouring stamps are together, my sentiment dies are together, Mats and Laird dies are together. That was a labour of love when I done it that way, just so that I had them all in their own individual section. So that's how I do it. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how and what you guys do at home when it comes to your storing yours. Is it in binders? Is it in cubes? Is it original packaging? Let us know, because it's always one that many, certainly beginners, are always asking about. But there is 2 of them. So that's just done 2. So if I were to let's bring it, because these are simple die cuts. So that one just from our black cardstock that we can see here. That one there, what we've got is, I've done this in like a grey, simply die cut out. That could be a flag or a pen if you want. Also, if you're using the Mini, although the Mini's got rival pressure, just like your Gemini electric machine, there's not an embossing mat. So what to do, because you've got your embossed rivets, simply take a scoring tool or a thin ball tool, and what to do is essentially colour over the back. But what you're doing is you're pushing all of that detail into the little holes. And even if you do have a large die cutting machine, 9 times out of 10, I do this without even using my rubber embossing mat. Sometimes it's just as quick, just to go in, push them through, and then you'll start to see, oh, perfect. You can just see those rivets coming through. That's just by pushing through with one of your scoring tools. So there's another little tip for you. And then what we'll do is, let's just die cut. Actually, I've already done it here. I've got a tiny little circle also within that set That's going to be for the center. So if we then just simply start to assemble, what you could do is you could pop that onto a little split pin, brad, and then that center would turn. But we're going to go in, you know what I'm like, I like kind of symmetrical and up and down. So I'm just going to go so that it's up and down here. And then these ones I've done, I'm going to use these. The only difference, apart from the color of course, is I've not put the little dot in the top. But because I've got these in the same colors, let's use those. So we've got that one there. And then all that we need to do is we're just going to then follow all the way round. So I'm just going to put a dot of glue at the base there, and then I'm going to press that down. What I would also say as well, considering I've just said that I like things that are straight and symmetrical, I wouldn't worry too much when it comes to these, because of course you want to have that sort of movement feel. So I'm going to alternate between the orange and the red. So it's as if they're going to be kind of swinging. So if I press that one down and then maybe this one, what I'll do is I'll come to the opposite side. So in the past, when you see me do die cut butterflies, you usually see me place it. One goes one way, one goes the other, the third one goes back the way that it first came. And that's kind of what I'm doing when it comes to these. You can lift them on your foam pads or glue gel if you want to. Everything like that is completely up to yourself. But I would certainly highly recommend not having them regimental. Just go in and have them so as if they are swinging from side to side. So holding that down for a few seconds. This would also look nice if you do it in something like a mirror card. That would look cool. Let's go in that way there. So if I then press that one down, and then let's go into here, and then I have lost one, typical. So it's going to look uneven, but it doesn't matter. Pop that in for you to see. And then we can go in with this one, like so. And then the last thing that we need to do, and we're going to take just a little break just in a moment for me to tidy up and then get ready for the next one. Press that one down. Let's hold that down a little bit tighter. And then we've got that circular dot in the middle. So that one, we can just pop that in there. So that's like the rivet of the Ferris wheel. And then that's how you can create your Ferris wheel. So if I turn that onto the back here, that's how you can start to see and start to create. So you've got them as if they're kind of swinging side to side if they're in a little bit of the wind. If you do, of course, want to have them just so that they are kind of symmetrical, then of course you can do that. But even although I've obviously pre-layered all these additional cards for the Ferris wheel, really is quite simplistic to do it. Very repetitive, which I think sometimes repetitive can be seen as a negative thing. In this case, it's not. It's a positive thing because it's really simple to then just build that Ferris wheel together. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of a break, really quick little bit of a tidy up. Then I think what we might do is we might actually let's do the Helter Skelter when we come back.
I love Crafters TV, not for their amazing products, but for other reasons. Firstly would be the community. Crafters TV brings everyone together from different corners of the world. It's a place where we can all share our love for Crafters Companion, ideas, and get inspiration from each other. Learning inspiration comes from the demonstrators. It doesn't matter if you're experienced or new, the demonstrators will always explain and help so we can get the best from the Crafters Companion's amazing products. But most important reason is the personal connection with the presenters and the demonstrators. For me, they have become my friend, creating a personal connection and making you feel part of a crafting family. And for me, this is the most meaningful. I wouldn't be the crafter I am today without Crafters TV, so thank you.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty program today and receive 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits to joining Club Inspire include special members-only sales, and you can receive discounts or exclusive access to products, and even free gifts. You will receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro that you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. See if you can craft your way up to our ultimate Club Inspire tier, Platinum, where you'll enjoy the very best discounts and rewards that we offer. As you keep climbing through the club, you can actually reach Platinum Plus and even Platinum for life. The more points you collect, the more you will be rewarded within our amazing special Club Inspire community. So, what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Hi Crafty Peeps, Victoria here. I love Crafters TV because it shows you the best tips and tricks on how to use your crafty stash. It also connects you with people from all over the world, and nowhere else on Shopping TV you have the opportunity to live chat with other people from the other side of the world, for example, and laugh with them and be there for them when they're having a tough time. But also know that when you're having a tough time, you can switch on Crafters TV and you can go on the live chat, and you know people will be there for you as well. And when you're having a bad time and not feeling well, when you're a bit down in the dumpster and you know Crafters TV is going to be on, there's going to be some laughters and there's going to be some fun. And the banter going on between the demonstrators and the demonstrators is just really fun and really good, and sometimes the only laugh you will get when you're not feeling well. So that's personally why I love Crafters TV the most. It's the connection, the personal connection with everyone that's involved in Crafters TV and all the other crafters out there. So thank you, Sarah, from the bottom of my heart for coming up with Crafters TV and for bringing all the good fun and all the crafty tips to us. Yes, thank you. Keep up the good work and I love you. Bye.
Oh, Lynn Morton on YouTube. Now I could really go a nice Aberdeen Angus burger. Have you ever had one, Jamie? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's nice. Really nice. I actually might add that to my shopping. Being in Scotland for the last 4 days, there's very little. Well, I say there's very little in my house. If you probably walk into my kitchen and look at my cupboards in the fridge, you'd probably be like, yeah, Craig, you've got enough stuff. But, you know, the stuff that you want to make and enjoy, there's none of that. So let's see what else. So, what have you got, Jamie? So Jamie's saying Craig always raves about squared sausage. What are they? So squared sausage, basically it's sausage meat. So instead of sausage meat, of course, being formed into what is a sausage, it's actually just the sausage meat, Jamie. And what it's done, it's kind of compressed into, essentially like a loaf tin, really, that you would make bread. And it's just compressed into that. And then it's just like a big loaf, essentially, of raw sausage meat. And then all that you do is you just slice it and then you fry it and you eat it that way. You can buy it that it's pre-sliced. You can get some that's got onions and that. But that's all squared sausage, or the actual name is Lorne sausage, but we tend to call it squared sausage because once you cut it down, it looks like a square. So yeah, if you ever hear me refer to squared sausage, that's exactly what it is. It's just sort of a bit really nice quality sausage meat. We're going to go in and have a look at the Helter Skelter there in a moment. Remember, when it comes to, of course, this collection, it's not necessarily about all the details and the price, hence why there's no details on the screen. It's for us just to be having a little bit of a play together. The elements of the Vintage Carnival are on the website, .co.uk.com or .eu. If you want to have another little look of what is involved within the collection, afterwards go back to the start of this show and I gave you a little bit of a run through. But we've got Jeannie is saying, great job, Craig. Amanda Hubbard on YouTube saying, Craig, I have very enjoyed the session so much. I'm about to go onto the website and purchase some of the range. I didn't buy it when it launched as I didn't have the money. And you know what? We completely understand that. That's why when we do launches, we try and have maybe smaller bundles or mini bundles, or at least have them individually. Totally understand. Not even anyone, not everyone can even purchase what they want when they want. So it's always nice that we can always come back and do these shows as well. Beth is saying, out of space in the craft room and taking over the basement. I store in the packaging and I like to see all my examples. Yeah, I'm the same. Most are stored in 12 by 12 boxes or the buddy bags. Len Morton is saying, when I started crafting, no one said how hard it would be to store and organise. It's a killer, absolutely. I feel the same. And Stephen is saying, can you get very tiny brads for the carousel on the wheel? If you can find tiny brads, I know they do exist. How tiny they can get, that I'm not sure. A normal size brad you could put in the centre of the Ferris wheel. If you can get your hand on tiny little split pin brads, then yeah, give it a shot and see. Rightio, before the end of this show, let's have a look at the Helter Skelter here, and let's take it out. Now this one, you've also got a stencil to go with it so that you can ink through. So you've got, which could be a salt shaker, it could be the little machine from Doctor Who, can't remember what it's called, TARDIS, thank you very much. You know, I'm not up to date on my Doctor Who sci-fi stuff. Sci-fi is Dalek, that's what it is. What did we say? TARDIS. So, I don't know if it's the base or not. Me and N, the Dalek is what Rachel has just said. And I'm presuming she knows it very well because she's just sent it to me in the biggest capital letters you could possibly get. So it's as if she's shouting, Craig, it's the Dalek. Okay, so that's what that one is. Sorry, Rachel. If you are a Doctor Who enthusiast. I don't know if a Doctor Who hooligan or Doctor Who, yeah, whatever it is. But yeah, she's obviously a fan. There we go, so we've got the base there that we can start to build upon. What I'm going to do, before we die cut the other pieces, let's go in with the actual stencil, a little template here. And we can go in and we can just fit that one over the top. Now what you will find is it fits it perfectly. So Rachel likes the spin off of them as well. I know you guys stateside, you get them on, it's like BBC America, or no, Disney Plus don't have the Doctor Who's just now, do they? I think it's definitely something like BBC America. I know they tend to, and the only reason I know that is because they talk about it on The Big Bang Theory. So that's how I know. I know there is a BBC America channel that like Graham Norton and all that's on. So, but I heard somewhere, was it a channel or a streaming site had bought the rights to Doctor Who or bought the rights to show it. It was something like that. I might be wrong. No, I thought it was Disney Plus, Jamie, but oh, I am right. Right. Google is saying, so new episodes of Doctor Who are available on Disney Plus. I thought so. I thought I remember reading that somewhere. So classic episodes 1 to 13, HBO Max. That'll be for you guys stateside. Although we do have an HBO channel, but I don't know what's shown on it. But then there you go. Now you know where your Doctor Who is. I was just going to go on to Disney Plus for Grey's Anatomy. Or The Great American Family, just binge watch that. Oh my gosh, that's so good. But probably not the time or day to be talking about something like that one. So there we go. We've got the fire along the bottom there of the Helter Skelter. I'm just going to, of course, keep that white, the actual Helter Skelter. Then what we've got is we've got all of these little bitties here. So we've got the top, these ones. These also create kind of the strip, well, not the strips, where you actually slide down. Now these are silver wafer thin dies, so you know how to cut them. So if I just bring in these ones that I've done beforehand, so I've used the red linen cardstock, so So that's those. You pop them all the way later. And then we've got the detail for the top of the Helter Skelter, which I have done in orange. We've then got these little detailed die cuts. So these are, or this one is the door, that's the surrounding of the door, and which is these ones here, and then that one and that one is the little flag. So if you're using the Mini, it's your folder. If you're using the Gemini, it's the same plate configuration as you are used to. And then it's essentially the way that you're just starting to assemble them together. Karen Sorrell, Craig, I always enjoy every show that you do. Thank you, Karen. That's really lovely of you to say. So let's go in again. I'm going to use my glue. Now, what I do tend to do to start with is I'll start to align them, because you'll find that slide section, it does protrude slightly over the edge, because it's if it's coming around. This is one I'm glad I'm able to show, because some people were going just like right up to the edge. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. However, you want it to be popping over the edge, so it's as if the actual shoot is curving around. Same also within this one there. And just have a little bit of a play. What you just want to make sure is those two edge pieces are snugly just over the edge. Same within that one there. So we're going to then just have a little bit of a play about so that we can get them into rough position like so. So happy with that, and then that will go over the top. So let's go in with our glue. These ones, if you want to pop your foam pads on them, you can do that if you want to. Sorry, Jamie, I did not catch what you just said. Jamie's never been to a carnival. Oh, have you not? You've been on a Helter Skelter. Right, got, yeah, kind of like a random fair. Oh, see, Jamie's not been to a circus or that, but I think by your age, Jamie, you would have missed the animal stage of a circus. I think you would have just missed it. Which, as I said before, absolutely agree with no animals, but it was lovely to live through a time of being able to see the animals in the circus. There we go, let's press that one down. Do you know something? This whole collection does have a vibe of The Greatest Showman. And I said that because Jamie just mentioned The Greatest Showman in my ear. Really, really is a brilliant movie. And it's one that I hardly watch. And the reason being is I don't want to get fed up of it. Whereas I overwatch lots of other films, like Home Alone 2 being my favourite, that you guys know. I watch it time and time again. But I really, really loved The Greatest Showman that I hardly watch. I've maybe only seen it not even a handful of times, because I don't want to get fed up of it. So I'm always selective as and when I watch it. But let's press that one in here. So just popping that over the top. Now these could be pattern papers if you want to. This could be your luxury cardstock if you want to. So you've always got choices. Although our collections give you a lovely comprehensive selection of card and paper and stamps and dies and that, you can of course start to mix it up and change it and add your own little attention to detail if you want. I mean, like this bit here, this could be some of your mirror card if you want to, no problem. You could start to do a little paper piecing if you want to as well. You could put acetate to the back and colour it in with your alcohol pens if you want. Plenty of craftability. And then I'm going to go in, I always like to put the little door in first. So I'm just popping my glue onto the back. So that one can go into there. And then, you can centralise that a bit better if you want to. And then I'm going to go in with the surrounding. So if I pop the surrounding here, just pop my bit of glue into there and then there. And then I'm just going to then pop that one round there. So once I've got that where I need it, just budge that along. I need to use my pokey tool to budge it in, and lift, we can do that. So move it into place, into situ like that. Don't have time to faff, Craig, but I really want that to be a little bit neater. Make sure that will do. Jeannie, oh, I love The Greatest Showman. Lynn is saying, I've never seen The Greatest Showman. It really is, it's one of those that I really wasn't bothered about. And then it was on TV one day, and it was, you know, when you watch a film where you sit down, it's just started, and before you know it, it's ended, and you're like, where's that time gone? That's when you know it's a good film. And that's definitely worth it. I think it's one of those films, I think, that if you're into or not, it's always good to at least watch it once, because it always comes up in some sort of subject. So you could create your own little Greatest Showman theme with these Stampin' the Dies. So let's go, and then, so this last bit, what I'm going to do, the little flag, let's go in with our teeny little bit of glue, and I'm just going to then pop that over there, and then we're just going to press that in. So as I said before, this is just our white cardstock that we've inked. It could be your pattern paper, it could be your luxury card, it could be absolutely anything that you want to use when it comes to die cutting. But then I can just lift that off, and then now what we've got is we've got our Helter Skelter that you can see here in that simplest form. But the biggest tip, and the reason I really want to show this one as well as the Ferris wheel, is going in with the slide aspect. A lot of people were going like flush to the side, which just wasn't looking right, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it. It's because you want to have them just protruding over the edge ever so slightly, so you've got that definition of the slide coming all the way around. So we have done that one. If I've ever seen questions or queries on social or that, it's always been about the Ferris wheel, and it's always been, well, not necessarily questions about the Helter Skelter, it's always been about it not looking right. So hopefully that'll help to make it look right. We've done the one that many people have struggled with. So that is the two main ones. A few additional samples as well that we've got here, bringing in your scoreboard, bringing in your Ultimate Pro. There's one there that Rachel's made. You can see there, so Jackie's made that one. Then we've also got the ability to turn them into your cool, fun easels. You can see that one, and that one there, Jan has made that one. Our Julia had made that one. We've then, of course, got Jan, who's also made that one. And then our Nicole had made that one. Nicole had also made that one there. And then just a couple more. Jan has done this easel. If you've got your template library and you've gone for this collection, please do dig it out and use them together, because I'm not sure why, there's just something about this Vintage Carnival Collection I think works so well with our template library. And our Rachel has made that one as well. So hopefully those two attractions has helped when it comes to die cutting and forming them. As always, whenever you are crafting away, if you feel confident, and please do, because the group is really kind and friendly. Go on, I'm a fan, I'm a Crafter's Companion Facebook page, and then pop your makes in there. It's always lovely to see, and you know, you're sharing what you're making, and you're giving lots of other people's hints, tips, and ideas. Now, today's shows, as well as all the other shows, you can always go back to on your Crafter's Companion YouTube channel, create a playlist. Maybe you want to save a playlist for this show here to give you that helping hand if you need it. All there, of course, on YouTube, as well as tomorrow's shows. So I'm going to be starting with Ben, I'm going to be ending on my own, and then in the middle, you're going to have Keith and Ben together. Tomorrow, Craft Together is all about your cutting tools, your guillotine, your paper trimmer, your craft knife. We're going to be featuring those within that 1 hour Craft Together. And then I will see you tomorrow for, I think the first show is 16-minute deals tomorrow. So take advantage with, of course, your actual Club Inspire. That's going to be 10 o'clock UK time. Still a little bit early, I know, for you guys stateside. However, what I absolutely loving about this new show is then we are, I'm going to say, focused a little bit more of the UK in the morning, and then within these shows we can be more focused as well to you guys stateside because it's a little bit later in the day, although it's you guys in the UK as well. Right, Teo, I'm away to hit to Morrison's because, as I said, I need to do a little bit of shopping. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Jamie. I'll see you tomorrow on Crafters TV. Bye.